Another day of money flows to see the money grow. Checking on the things that I know so I can teach them to other people. And then I can learn something back at the same time. Clear my mind with these teachings, these lessons, because I know it's a blessing to be able to be in a position to help other people. Trying to see everybody like they're equal. Just planting those seeds, watching the money rise up. So, topic for today, the thought for today is going to be asking for more money, making that decision. I feel like, it's kind of two different things but the same, because like the decision kind of comes first. And then you got to really ask for like what you want, like from the world, from life, however you want to phrase it, from the universe, from the force, however it is you see it. So, gonna go over a little preview what I'm gonna talk about today. Again, the thought was all about, asking for more, asking for higher income, stuff to that effect. So gonna go over pretty much making decisions, clarifying, reasoning, looking at motivation, the forces behind what's gonna guide you to get what you need, do what you want to do with your life. Looking out how to basically handle different phases in life that apply to making money. And just how to place your focus, how to stay on track. So I'm gonna bring it back to the top. Looking at my own personal experiences with having reasons for it, more money for whatever it was at the time that I was asking for it. Sometimes different things. So looking at my own life, I would have to say that like the struggles I've had in my life have motivated me the most to make the decisions, and then to ask for more money, to ask for more in life. I remember really like, following the program, doing what everyone was telling me to do, and not being fulfilled at all. And it was really like I was burning myself out. I was trying to go to school full time, working full time jobs at the same time. Just like burning the candle, however you want to say it, at both ends, whatever it is. But yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, man, I mean, there's got to be an easier way. There's got to be a better way. Like, people shouldn't have to, work their entire lives away and then still just, barely be able to afford to even live and eat and stuff like that. Like, that doesn't make any sense. There's a lot of money out here. There's a lot of abundance out here. And I'm seeing, all this money just kind of like flowing to certain spots and not flowing to me. And the people that it seemed to be flowing to were the people who, seemed to be like working the least as far as what my definition of work was at the time. So I'm seeing that and I'm like, okay, yeah, like I need more out of life. Like I'm not going to spend my life just, working and going to school because people are telling me that that's how you make more money, and I'm just going to like follow that program. No, I'm going to take matters into my own hands, and I'm going to start becoming my own boss. I'm going to start building my own sources of income that aren't really dependent on anybody else. And that's really when things changed. So I mean, I was even at a point where like, I was living in like one of the worst areas of town. I was like really couldn't even afford to like eat 3 meals a day. Every like end of the month or couple days before the paycheck, I was like really barely even able to eat. That was a big decision too. It was like, yeah, I need more money. Like I should be able to eat what I want. I should be able to eat good food. I should be able to be fulfilled with, just what I'm eating. So, once I made that decision, it wasn't too much longer. Started seeing the ways to make it happen. money started coming. Yeah, I used to live in a really negative environment, right? A lot of the people around me, doing, like crime, stuff like that. Um, a lot of people just not really having any goals. A lot of people living on just like assistance programs. A lot of violence in my neighborhood, stuff like that. Um, yeah, I just really, wanted to get out of that environment. Like at the same time, I want to help other people get out of that environment, but I realize now that, when I have to deal with that kind of stuff every day, it drains me a lot, and it makes it so that I'm really unable to help other people. So another major thing that really caused me to ask more out of life was watching friends and family who had really, that were older than me and who had really worked their whole life, like worked really hard, like spend the majority of their life working super hard. Not even on their own goals, but just for somebody else, just at a job, whatever, whatever it would be. And they pretty much their mindset was all like, the harder you work, the more hours you work, the more money you're gonna make. And I would say the majority of these people, I saw them end up really unhappy, unsatisfied, and on top of that, it gave them a lot of health problems. Mainly I'm guessing the stress. And these were all problems that, cancer, stuff like that, where people don't clearly understand how they got it. But my intuition was kind of telling me like, hey, look at this. These people are all working so hard and they're just, not really taking care of themselves. They're putting their job that they're working for somebody else to make a couple dollars over their own life, over their own mentality, over their own health. And to me, that's really what I thought it was. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely not trying to end up like that. I'm definitely not trying to have these health problems. Yeah, just staying in good health is like super important to me. So getting into the thought for today, teachings that I have to say is like the first thing really I was saying, like you got to decide that you want more money. Do this by really, looking at where you are compared to where you want to be. And, that's just like being real with yourself, being real with your environment, your associates, your career, all that kind of stuff. And then just thinking like, where do you want to be in all those different areas? And, believing that you're capable of getting there. And yeah, just making a decision that you're not going to give up until you are where you want to be. So really, you got to decide how you want to spend your time. If someone else is, controlling the majority of your time, telling you what to do, where to be, it's going to be very difficult for you to even like develop a mentality of thinking for yourself, which is going to lead to those doors opening to find the money that you want, doing what you enjoy to get it, so it doesn't feel like you're stressed out all the time. You're physically not well because you're pushing yourself too hard. Just stuff like that, Gotta just take control of your own life. Don't let other people do it. Just become really aware of check yourself throughout the day. Like, okay, what am I doing right now? Is this something that I made the decision to do, or is this something that I'm doing because like somebody else needs it done? And just start becoming more aware of that. So think about what you want the money for. When you're asking for money, like, what's the point of asking for $10 million if you don't even know how you're going to use it? Why would that money even come to you? Like, you have no purpose for it. So money's just, the kind of like, I believe, one of the worst things you can do with money, someone who has a lot of money, is hoard it. Is have this like really reverse mindset of abundance, having a scarcity mindset, thinking like, oh, one day everything's gonna fall apart and I'm gonna need all this money and all this stuff. I mean, history has shown what's happened to a lot of those people, you know? I mean, because if the economy falls apart, what's gonna happen to the value of that money that you're hoarding? It's probably gonna drop a lot. I mean, it's not about the money, it's about the networks and the environment that you're in more. You know, if something like that happens, but in the first place, I mean, you shouldn't even worry really. Like, there's no reason to worry about that stuff. It's just important to stay positive and just realize, like, believe that if you just stay focused on your goals, that basically it'll manifest. So when you're thinking about what you need money for, consider like whether it's material or not material, because I believe that experiences and the connections that you make in life are going to cause way more personal growth than any kind of material things that you get, and it's going to make life way more enjoyable. Like, I can tell you right now, like, you know, once you make $50,000 a year, you're not going to feel much more happier when you're making 500,000. You know, maybe more comfortable, all that stuff, but really, like, once you got your basic needs met, money for that, the happiness level does not really change that much. You know, maybe it will initially for a little bit, but just like people that win the lottery, right? After like a year, usually most of them not only lose the money, but their mindset goes back to where it was, if not worse. So when you look at the money that you have, the money that you're going to get, think about how to invest it in experiences and connections before material things. Even though that is very counterintuitive to the message that Western culture and most society, most of the cultures I've witnessed send out. I myself live in America, and I know, I mean, all you have to do is just drive down the street, look at the billboards. It's all about like buying material stuff. Look at the commercials, it's all about buying material stuff. So think about how much money you're gonna need. Like, be very specific. And the only way to really do that is be even more specific about the things that you need the money for. So like, have that specific goal. Like, how much you trying to make a day. Break it down. You know, it's about $275 a day is about $100,000 a year. So you can, you know, just add zeros to that. $2,750 a day is going to be about $1 million a year. And I mean, at first it's like, even myself and a lot of other people, it's like, oh, that, how are you going to make $2,750 a day every day? That's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible if you are trying to work for somebody else. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's very difficult. It can seem impossible, but if you believe it's possible, then you're going to start looking at other sources of income, other ways to make money. I mean, preferably multiple sources of passive income. I mean, it might seem strange, but like, hey, if you get, you know, 5 sources of passive income, and each one of those is making like $200 to $300 a day, that's pretty manageable. I mean, I think anybody can pretty much put that together. Anybody can figure that out in today's economy, in today's state of technology. So just you know, believe it's possible, and then the doors are gonna open. The opportunities are gonna present themselves. It just becomes a matter of recognizing them and being able to act on them. But that's another topic for another day. So, gonna get into like how life has different phases, just like the weather. You know, there's summer, spring, winter, fall. There's good times and there's bad times. So when it comes to money, you're gonna need like a different skill set to thrive in each one of these different seasons. You gotta know, like, investing when you're putting your money to work. Like, you would want to have totally different strategy investing during like good economic times, you know, when there's an uptrend in the market versus when there's a downtrend. So like you got the bull market mentality and the bear market mentality. And one of the good example of this, I was just reading an article about Warren Buffett and about how he's starting to move his wealth more into cash, right? So I think right now he's sitting at like 60% of his wealth in cash, right? Because a lot of people are anticipating, looking at the markets, they're anticipating that there's going to be a recession, right? They're anticipating that prices are going to crash. So, you know, that's why you wouldn't want to be heavily invested during a time like that. You would want to be holding cash because, you know, when things are going up, when you're heavily invested, obviously you're going to be making money. When it's going down, you're going to be losing money. So that's why someone who's a very, very wise investor like Warren Buffett would see this kind of trend, like I'm sure he's seen, you know, many times before in his life, that a lot of signs are lining up that it's very possible for stocks, for the economy to crash, have a depression, have a recession. Who knows what it's going to be? Who knows if it's going to be next month? Who knows if it's going to be 5 years from now, 2 years from now, whatever. But these signs are starting to line up. So that's when you would want to become aware of this stuff. And the only way you can become aware of this stuff is to just get started. Like, you don't need the money to get started investing. Just, you can do what's called paper trading. You know, you can basically use like play money, make it like a game or a video game or something. Just start getting used to the way the economy works, the way money flows, things like that, so that when the money does come to you, you'll be right away able to put it to work, and you don't have to, you know, try to cram all this kind of knowledge into your mind the second you get a little bit of extra money. This is like a continual thing you want to be doing, you want to be learning. So just I want to kind of end that thought by saying, like, something I've heard from a very wise person was don't wish that things were easier. Wish for yourself to get better, improve. Kind of goes into saying, like, don't complain about how much money you earn or how much progress you're making in life, because when you complain, you're really you know, putting the outcome of what's going on somebody else. You're not taking responsibility. You're not saying, like, you know, looking at really being like introspective and looking at what did I do, what could I have done, like what possibly, like, even if you're totally focused that it's the economy's fault, somebody else's fault, whatever, just stop yourself for a second and say, okay, well, let's say this same situation were to happen in the future. How would I handle it differently? What could I have done differently that could have made things better, that could have made things more positive? The next point I want to make is focus on helping yourself more than helping other people. And I've always said, like, a big lesson in making money is understanding that the more money you make is going to be tied to the amount of value you create for other people. The more you help other people out, the more you improve other people's lives. And if you focus more on this than helping your own self, you're going to hit a wall as far as like your abilities to help people. However, if you focus on yourself, improving yourself more, then you'll have a higher capacity to help other people, improve other people's lives. So, I mean, it's kind of a balance. It's kind of a thing that you gotta, like, figure out for your own, like, what kind of time do you need to put into improving your own capacities every day compared to you know, providing value for other people. And just realize that, you know, this is not like a selfish type of mindset, because at the end of the day, the reason why you are improving your own self is so that you can provide more value to more people. and this is going to bring you more income. The more value you provide, the more income you make. Understand that when you're making money, it's about it, 80% mindset, 20% strategy, maybe even 90-10 for some people. Goes back to the 80-20 principle, 90-10 principle, some people call it. And so what this is basically saying is, like, when you can become above average with your skill set, your income will become above average. So, it's not strategy as far as like how hard you work, stuff like that. It's your ability to be more productive, to provide more value. So me, myself, like, once I understood this, I remember hearing from, I think it was Bill Gates. He was talking about how much reading he does, how he takes vacations for like a week at a time where all he does is read. And a lot of other mentors, people that I look up to, had very similar, habits to where they would spend really more time learning or researching than they actually did working and applying that knowledge. So for me, I think I try to spend about 60% of my time learning, doing research, keeping up with just what's going on in the world, what's going on in business, and then maybe about 40% of my time actually like working on stuff, actually creating stuff. I get a lot of motivation from other people who have created stuff. So when I consume other knowledge, it really motivates me. But if I spent just the majority of my time or all my time just working, like, I already know that it just, you can work on stuff mindlessly and just go on autopilot and zone out and make money and get paid by the hour or whatever. But that's gonna be it's not gonna be at all mentally stimulating. It's not gonna keep you fresh. It's not gonna keep you on your toes. You're not gonna feel like you're growing, getting better. And that's not really the kind of life I'm trying to live. So helps to develop a mindset that really everything that happens to you in life is preparing you to make more money. Even something that might seem like it's like a setback or a negative thing is a teacher. Like, it's giving you the lesson that you need to get to the next level. So become more aware of the things that you're doing and how they relate to your goals. Just throughout the day, kind of check yourself. Do you have a positive or a negative attitude in regards to what you're doing, what you're working on, how you're spending your time? And generally, I think what I find is that, if I'm doing something and I'm getting a negative attitude or something like that, and then I really like check into what I'm doing, it's not really putting me in a position to make myself better or help other people. And that's when I notice, like, I start to like become more negative. But if I'm staying focused on my goals and what I need to do to get there, then I'm like generally become more and more positive. Like I was saying before, I think it's super important. Understand that you don't have to work longer hours or harder to make more money. Just, whatever you're asking your life for, when you're asking for more money out of life, just decide that you're going to do something that you enjoy more to make this money. Like, don't feel like you have to struggle more to make more money. That's really the wrong mindset. Also, don't focus on anything that will not make enough money. So if you decide you want to make a lot more money, staying at the job you have, not improving your skills, is obviously not going to get you there. Like, a lot of people I've talked to say stuff like, well, if I just stay at this job for 5 more years, then, I'm going to get that raise that I want. Well, if you think that you have to wait that long a time, then that's probably going to be true. But if you decide like, hey, I want this money now, like I'm trying to see this stuff right now in my life as soon as possible, then why would you even stay at the job or the whatever it is that you're doing that's bringing you what you're currently getting that you're not satisfied with? There's always another way. There's always another method to increase your income. Probably just not seeing it. So yeah, make the decision. Make the decision that you're gonna stay focused. Work a little bit at least towards your goal every day. Your mindset, like what you focus on, expands. If you keep complaining, worrying about how you don't have enough, probably going to see more of that lack, experience more of that lack. If you believe that the opposite of that, if you believe that there's more than enough out there, that you can totally do it, that you can see the money flow to you, then that's probably going to happen. And that just goes to say you got to expect it. Like, don't doubt it. Don't have any doubts or worries. That's easier said than done. But you can mentally condition yourself over time to decrease doubts and worries. And just have a higher expectation. Have a stronger belief that whatever you're asking for out of life is going to come to you. And me personally, everybody's got their own opinion as to like how you can increase your income. A lot of people say things like, save more money, pinch pennies, stuff like that. To me, that's kind of what I was saying about like the scarcity mindset versus the abundance mindset, right? Like, I think that's totally backwards. Why? Obviously, you don't want to, spend money on stupid stuff and waste money. But anyway, I think you get the point. So that's pretty much a conclusion to what I got for today. Hope what you like what I had to say. Hope you got some value out of it. Hope it can improve your life in some type of way. So yeah, go ahead and hit the likes if you haven't. Go ahead and any questions, comments, anything like that, hit the comments. If you haven't already subscribed and you're trying to get this information so you can thrive, do yourself a favor, hit the subscription button, hit the bell next to it so you can get notified each time I drop a video. A few other things in the works, let you know about those when I get them going. That's it for the day. That's all I got to say.